Hello, hello. I know it's a little odd. I'm like I don't have a makeup or anything. Like I have a bonnet on. I woke up not too long ago. Here I am. Hold on, let me do this. So this is Night Moth Mac. I'm just lining my lips. Okay. I'm not getting all cutesy and stuff. Yeah, keeping it simple. All right. Hope you are doing well today. How's it going? Wow, that one when I don't have on my makeup or anything. It's so funny. Ah, but yeah, I look a mess. Unfortunately, I don't care. So my shirt says, "What goes around comes around." I love this shirt. It's getting old, but I love it. Anyways, I don't have anything I really want to talk about, but it's things happening to athletes. They're just falling. I guess you could say. Hold on. Things are happening to athletes, and I don't know. It's very unfortunate, and rest in peace to those who have been affected. But I can't help but to think there's an underlying thing that they all have in common, and we're all well aware what it is, but we are not talking about it. What could it be, guys? I mean, what happened on this planet not too long ago, you know, and cause everyone to panic and be scared and run to get something? It's not like they weren't practicing and exercising when everybody was on lockdown. I'm sure they were still practicing and exercising and doing their normal, they weren't competing, but they were practicing and taking care of their body because that's their livelihood and their job to play sports. So, what could be the underlying cause of them having heart attacks suddenly? I wonder. Would someone like to put two and two together to make it make sense? Because I swear, things that happen on this planet happen right under our noses, right in front of us. We can be watching TV and it's happening right in front of our eyes. But there's this part of us that is comfortable with living in a delusion rather than acknowledging the truth. And I'm the same sometimes, when things are happening around me that is hard to digest, I kind of just trick myself like, okay, that's not what's happening. Um, it's just something that we do. But we have to get used to the truth. And the truth hurts. And the truth doesn't feel like it makes sense sometimes. But open your mind to the possibilities of the unthinkable. You know, it's like one of those movies where they have an old person and like these people are like, "Oh, our car broke down. Can we stay at your house?" And the old person's like, "Yeah." And then the old person is way stronger than they have believed, or this old person has skills that causes them to freaking pass or become shocked, or it's like that twist like, "Oh, you're the villain." And then they're like, "Yeah, it was me all along, the old lady who walks with a cane. I gave you that cup of whatever of tea and you thought it was tea, but it wasn't." Like, life has so many twists and turns, and when you take the veil off, it's like it was you all along. you know and life is just shocking. Life is just a roller coaster. And so let me put this up here. um we're just gonna have to really, I've heard of so many people dropping down recently. Even where I live, someone dropped down from heart issues. And it can't just be the food we're eating. I really don't think so. I was around someone who got what I'm talking about. And my period only came for one day, and I was scared. It didn't make any sense because that's not normal for me to have my period for one day. And I made sure, okay, for one day, and I made sure that I I took a test and whatnot to, just be cautious, but it was nothing. And also, they were saying 2 years ago when something happened and they were all getting that young kids were having issues. And they were, science said that there was inflammation of the heart from all the people who took it. And I was like, listen, it was the first mRNA, and I'm not getting it because if it's the first, that means it's an experiment. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I do not consent. My ancestors would not have consented, maybe out of fear, but I'm not trying to perpetuate the cycle of fear. I am trying to live through love and out of, not out of, um, fight or flight mode, survival mode. I'm not trying to live like that. So I'm not going to do things because I'm scared. I'm learning that when I make decisions, when I'm fearful, it all means bad for me. Like, oh my God, I have to like, no, I don't have to do a lot of things. You have choices, and we feel like we don't have choices, but we have choices in this life. A lot of choices. It just seems so limited because it's new and it's undiscovered. And our parents haven't done it, our grandparents haven't done it. No one has done it before, and it's a little scary. So we just follow out of fear, but I'm breaking that cycle. I'm not going to be fearful this lifetime. I'm going to do things that I feel is right, even if it looks weird, odd, you haven't seen it before. I call myself the innovator. But yeah, there definitely is a correlation, and it's terrifying. If I could, I might actually ask some around to see if people are having in my family. I might ask them if they're having any issues or did they notice anything. But unfortunately, a lot of people won't really learn themselves. When you have a 9 to 5, those people specifically are you're in survival mode. You're constantly moving, 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 moving. You're constantly working. You're constantly thinking about how you're going to survive for the next day. So you don't really sit with yourself. A lot of people don't sit with themselves and learn themselves and feel their body and feel how they feel at a certain job. I need to get the paycheck. They just kind of forget about the nervous cues and everything and just go straight for the paycheck and the money. Money's important, but learning your body is very important. Those who are health conscious understood the dire and the possibility of their health changing after getting the thing. I've always been very health conscious. I had back pains when I was young. I've had headaches around 15, like when I was young, around 12, 15, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've always had back problems, headaches. I was considered obese by the medical system, you know, system. Like I was bigger. Actually, I was shorter, but I was the same weight I am now, and I was considered obese. I just have big bones. Like that's just it. I have big bones. I do have fat, but I also have big bones and big muscles. So that's gonna be mass. Um, so let me put this chair down. I didn't mean for it to go that down. But so I've always been health conscious. Like I've tried plant-based vegan diets when I was like 12, 13, 14, around the age because they claimed that I had IBS at a young age, but I didn't believe that. I was just lactose intolerant, and I had to reset everything I was putting in my body. The water I was drinking, I started researching what the alkaline water was, what acidic water was. I was researching a lot, and I switched up the water I was drinking, and I stopped eating meat. For what is causing all this pain in my body? Well, it was a lot of psychological issues, and I figured that out myself. But it also was the things I was ingesting. The food I was eating was actually uh, counterproductive. It's like not only was my brain not well, but the food I was ingesting, because my parents didn't really have a good guidebook of what was actually right for them. I had to implement more greens and fruits and vegetables, organic things into my diet. I was really, I even did a Dr. Sabi research when I was young, like 14, 15. I'm 23 now. But I got into spirituality, and my life changed from them. I don't even have back pain anymore. I don't even have headaches like I used to. So I feel like I healed myself in some way. But it but I also sat with myself. Like there would be times where I didn't have a job. So I just sat with myself, and I was like, I wanted to get a job and I wanted money, but I found it more important to have myself at optimal health so I could work better and function at my highest, you know, like the highest form. What's the word? I just wanted to perform at my highest. So I was very aware of my health. I know what foods I can eat at certain times. I know what foods I should avoid. I know how much I can eat. I know what my body might feel like after I eat a certain food. Like those awarenesses that we have. I know what time I should not eat. What time I should eat. Um, I know a little bit of my limits. And how to balance my diet. And I learned that through trial and error. And it takes some time to learn yourself what you need in food. I'm still working on iron. Like, I don't feel as tired as I used to. Like, I don't have low iron like I used to, because once again, I'm starting to implement more greens. And my aunt recommended molasses. So I drink that occasionally. Um, Coconut oil and stuff like that. I'm cooking. They don't know if they feel different with yourself. Can also cause a disruption with the brain. You're not actually feeling your body. The pain there, the issues there, but you've numbed it. So you're not solving the core issue. You're just putting a band-aid on an open wound, or, you know, it's like you have an open wound and you go to the doctor and they put a band-aid on it. That's what pain relievers kind of do, is there are natural things. And this push for natural has been a big thing in the past 3 years and the years. Um, I may be like conspiracy theorist or whatever, but when people talk to me about Beyond Meat, I have never been that. Beyond Meat? If it's Beyond Meat, what is it? On it. I'd rather eat meats. There's minerals and there's things in meat that you can actually, why am I anxious? Why am I, the food that you eat plays a lot with your nervous system. The body is electric. And if you are low in electricity, I'm going to say, you're going to have issues. If you're high in electricity, it's either good or bad. Anxiety maybe is good or bad, this high functioning, if you're low, then that's also bad. So there needs to be that balance. And like veganism and like vegetarianism can be a little bit limiting, because once again, we're humans. You don't have to believe that. But I heavily believe in balance, that you can you can eat plant-based, but you can incorporate some meat in there, because listen, the body just wants what the body wants sometimes. You just got to listen to the body. The body is intelligent. If you are like on a diet and then you're like, oh my God, I really want that cookie, and your body's like, we want that cookie. You have to make sure, is it your mind or your actual body need it? Your brain just wants it. Um, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. I keep losing my train of thought. I don't know why I'm thinking of a smoothie right now. Body, stop limiting yourself to one little thing. Eat out, explore, not too much though. Eat out, explore, and grow and expand and learn yourself. There's this fear in opening. Eat your McDonald's. Like people are like, oh, don't eat McDonald's. Isn't it? If you feel like your body wants some McDonald's, go eat some McDonald's. It may be real unhealthy and it may have some weird ingredients, but if you listen, life is about balance, okay? Like completely cutting off the want for something is not healthy, I would say. But learn your limits and what you should not eat. But yeah, long story short, like I didn't have IBS, and people won't be aware of the actual problems because you can go to the doctor and they can tell you XYZ, but you know what's wrong with you. You know, you keep going to the doctor. Sometimes you just gotta sit with yourself and be like, yo, what's wrong with me? They can't figure it out. They give me all these medications and I still don't feel well. What is wrong? You know, that's when you have to start watching your life or write down what they watch, or whatever you're ingesting and put it in your body, whether thoughts or food. A lot of people don't sit down with themselves, and that can be a problem. Speaking about the um I chose not to, because I understood that I was working hard to get my body to this optimal state without things. Yes, it was a risk to not take that and go about my day like it was normal. I was like, listen, can't escape death. It is what it is. I'm gonna protect myself to my highest capacity without putting anything in my body. Uh, I was always very health conscious. Maybe it's my Virgo rise back aches. Like that was my issue, and it has to do with my sacral chakra too, and my crown chakra. I was like, but yeah, like I'm right now. I forgot I left some sugar in here because I was working on a bar of soap. It's for sugar, and it's just my thing. Health is just my thing. Like I can tell people, hey, they're like, I'm not feeling well, and I'm like, you can try this. Listen, try it, try it. Okay, I recommend this. You can try it. Like recently, I made a thing of making solve. Should never said that, but yeah, it's. I think it'll do well, and the fact that I just said it and I just felt it arise, it actually might now. See it when you see it. Um, it really worked for me recently. Like people in my house were coughing and not feeling well, and suddenly this thing worked. Um, the internet doesn't like to hear things like that. Sketchy internet. Um, let's do a card pull today. What's the energy like in today? What's the message? I'm feeling a little I don't know, I feel like there's anxiety going on in the world. Like I feel like there's this underlying, like people are scared. I don't know, I feel like the fearful energy is arising in the universe. Like people are worried and scared, and it could be from the news of these athletes, but I just feel like there's this uneasiness in the world right now. People are like a little worried, but I can tell you that worrying is just going to make your immune system actually weaken. A lot of stress and worry, these things cause your immune system to weaken and your body to weaken because you're lowering your frequency by feeding into things that have nothing to do with you. And you're feeding into things that are not in your reality. And that's the downfall of a lot of people. They insert themselves in things that don't concern them. And that's where stress and anxiety and all these things take place. You know. So right here I got the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what else. And the message of today. I do want like 2 more cards. 5 of Pentacles. And next, this is like the universal energies of today that I see where the star. So I'm just gonna go off of what I feel this is about. maybe this has to do with justice in Six of Cups. Maybe this has to do with the economy right now. People are worried about money as well. So health and money seem to be like the main focuses right now for me too. I'm part of the collective, and these things, and I think the card is a card of hope for right now. That even though we're going through these difficult times, because like the Five of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles and Awakening, so it's like we're all going through it in some way. We're all going through it. It universally, I think financially, we're going through it. It's like a recession, and a lot of things are expensive, and it's worrying us, and we're thinking about next month, and we're thinking about how our finances are going to change over the few months. Like even Elon Musk, a billionaire, even he's losing money right now, like from his purchase. So it's like a universal thing where people are uh karma is karma 501, karma is starting to the wheels starting to turn, and people are getting their karma getting bad right now, and losses are happening, and it's discouraging us as a collective. We feel hopeless. I think we're feeling a little hopeless and a little less abundant than we were. um but new opportunities, it is time to plant new seeds. I think the Ace of Pentacles is like newness, and it's time for us to think about where we are in this life. What can we do right now that can help us in the future? Yes, right now it does feel like a pretty hard time, but I hope, I'm hoping that we awaken to the fact that all is not lost. It's just a rebirthing time for us to become aware of the opportunities, that if you have breath, you have options, and that seems to like always stay. There's always to actively plant yourself. What are you doing to plant your seeds? What are you doing to create your real stability? The star card, justice, like those are also here. Um, Wands, Face of Wands, all is not lost. I feel like like I went to the supermarket and a tray of eggs cost $6-7, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like $7 for 12 eggs? Oh, insane. But if you're just gonna have to put those eggs back, because I'm not buying a tray of eggs for $7. I'm just gonna have to skip on the eggs. Like, I'm just gonna have to skip on it. We got very comfortable in America. Nothing lasts ever. Like, oh, but nothing lasts forever. Even the job that you have, like, you just don't know what will happen tomorrow. So you're gonna have to create some real roots, some real stability. And no matter what happens on the outside world, whatever happens to your finances, that you'll be able to realize that I am limitless, and I'm more powerful than I believe I am. Um, Stuff like that. It's so hard to actually feel those feelings and become comfortable in discomfort. Just it's not a discomfort that is they're going to be $7 for you. If you don't have a little, if you can't find another supermarket, then those eggs are going to still be the same price. And if you can't buy the eggs, then you can't buy the eggs, and that's okay. Maybe in a month you will be able to buy the eggs, but also you have to think of can I now how can I now this is how I would say to myself, okay, in a year, if we're going through this right now, how can I build something in the market to sell those $7 eggs? How can I get me some free eggs? How can I get me a limitless supply of eggs? Then that's where the real stability starts to come in. How can I live an abundant life without relying on the abundance of others? How am I going to be self-sufficient in this life? I think including my black people. How do we become self-sufficient so we don't have to rely too much on those $7 eggs in the store? Who do we have to meet? Who do we have to know? I'm gonna read about the Ace of Pentacles because it just keeps showing up. It just keeps showing up. It just keeps showing up. Like oh, it wants to be talked about some more. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. This suit of Pentacles, I chose its tunnel deep underground, drawing nourishment and life from the earth's sun. I don't know how to say this word. I will research it so I can never not say it right again. The branches are heavy with ripe fruit, signifying prosperity and abundance. The Ace of Pentacles all about building a strong financial foundation. When the Ace of Pentacles surfaces in your reading, often brings with it some sort of financial opportunity, since it's the first card of the suits of Pentacles. We need to understand this is only demonstrates potential. You will still have to actualize it. This is the time to launch new financial or commercial opportunities. The Ace of Pentacles may also indicate a career change or promotion. If, however, your question was about romance, the Ace of Pentacles points to a serious long-term relationship. I'm seeing it more as like what's going on in the world right now, that energy of now that we have the opportunity to look at life in a different way. We have the opportunity to be like, damn, $7 eggs? Shoot. I don't want to pay that. How can I get a community where access to eggs is not so hard? So like that's how you build community and build real legacy and build real things. Start to think outside the box rather than what's given to you, but what can you create and what can you build? Let me see what we all need to do. We need to do like a collective abundance card. It's a collective abundance card. What is the message that we need to hear as a collective? Okay. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. It is safe for you to receive. So if somebody is out here trying to help you, give you some free eggs, make sure you be all right. And then this one says conscious consumer. You have the power to heal and help the world with your decisions to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest fair trade in organic goods. You live simply and you purchase only which that you need. Like I was saying, that's crazy because I was saying that we got, as Americans, we're comfortable and we're comfortable with everything being easy access. Food, everything is just so accessible. I remember I was in Indiana and I'm like, yo, if the water, I'm like, I was thinking about like a future partner and I'm like, if we didn't have water coming through the faucets, what would he do? Like, what would my man do? That's what I'm thinking. Like, listen, how am I gonna get water? Like, if they were just to shut off all the water in time, if there was a zombie apocalypse, what would we do? Where would we go? Where would we get food? Where would we stay? There's not going to be an electricity. Where are we going to get power? Things like that. Because a few years ago, we would have never thought that COVID would have happened, but it did. And we went on lockdown and we were like, oh my God, this is lockdown. There was so much things that we could not access because people were closing their stores and the supermarkets were being people are buying a lot at the supermarket, like toilet paper, things like that are very basic, and we don't think about it ever going out of stock, and it did. Am I living too comfortable? My black people, we've been in survival. I think the gap is going to be so big that it doesn't even matter if you even have a high, if you have a lot of money, because still the resources are going to be limited, and you're going to have to be at a high level to afford those resources. Now we have to think about all my people now. How can we get those resources closer to home without relying on that shipment from Walmart or that shipment to your local supermarket? How can you get straight to the source? How do you become the source? That's the things we have to ask ourselves. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be this. Everybody wants to be that. But where's the farmers? Who are the farmers? Like, do any kids want to be farmers, or do any families want to own farms nowadays, or do they just want to sell the farm for money? Are you going to build another farm? I always had this imagery of these green hills, and they have these little gated areas, and they have all organic food on these hills. They're like green pastures, greenery, and inside the greenery there's like these little gardens, and they only have organic food, and only the people who have the financial and power can have access to these gardens. I always would think, like, when I just keep getting this vision that it's like in Europe, like they have these hilltops that are green, and they have farms on top of there, and they have the best of the best there, the best cows, the best sheeps, the best this, the best that, and they only mate with each other. They don't really take vaccines, anything like that. I said the word. But yeah, they don't take all that inorganic stuff. Everything is just organic, and only the people at the top of the top can get there. That's my own vision that I get sometimes. And we have to bring the power back to us and learn about the sources around us, where the direct source is, rather than us getting it from a third party, stuff like that. I think that's a big message that needs to be taken in, or something we all need to think about. This is a very important live. I'll get back to it by the end of this day so I can talk some more. I'm gonna do some research and I'll get back to y'all. So thank you for stopping by, and have a great day. Bye.